Hey YouTube, it's Sensation reporting in for another review. Today we've got the Bachmann sound value or sound on board Siemens SC-44 Charger in the Amtrak Midwest scheme. And now this locomotive isn't owned by me. This locomotive is owned by a buddy of mine, Brent.
Yep.
And your YouTube name is what? Kirkwood?
Kirkwood Jeff City Sub 86.
Alright. So he bought this locomotive, and we're gonna review it and go through its features. Let's go ahead and get started. So this locomotive is 4611, lettered for IDTX, which I guess is
Illinois Department of Transportation.
Right. So this locomotive first made its appearance, or this particular number made its first appearance in what debuted in Chicago.
I think that was 2017-ish, I believe it is.
Okay. And it was in this paint scheme, and it's supposed to replace the P42s, the Genesis P42s, that are running the Midwest service, the River Runner here in Missouri. So.
And they're also running like the Hiawatha service and Illinois service.
Yeah, and the Surfliner and the Cascades. I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're running up in California primarily. So, from what I can tell, based on detail-wise, like right up here, up in the cab, it's pretty accurate. It's got LEDs on for its destination, ditch lights, the red lights, the strobes, and also the emergency light, as well as the headlight, which is pretty neat for the front. Unfortunately, it's got a plastic coupler on it, which I hate, but you know, considering it's only going
to be changed too.
Yeah, considering it's only going to be pulling 4 to 7 coaches, the plastic coupler might not be too bad, depending on who makes them. It's also got the on the trucks on each wheel. It's got the little holes on each wheel set. I'll try to get down there if I can. So right there on the wheels, you can see that it's got the whatever those holes are. I'm not entirely sure what they're for.
That I don't know either.
Right. Oh yeah, it's also got the, well, we'll get to that later. We'll get to that where we're still in the front. Still too zoomed in. There we go. Alright, so up on the top, we've got all the detail from the top of the locomotive. This unit has wow sound in it, and wow sound and Bachmann went to Siemens and actually recorded the actual sounds off this locomotive to.
They went to Pueblo, Colorado to TTCI, where the engines were at. They were being tested.
So that's always a great feature for an engine to have the exact sounds rather than not exact sounds. Let's see. I don't know who painted the locomotive. It's a ABS plastic car body. It's got quite a bit of weight to it, so it pulls pretty well. I do have video of it pulling my MTH Daylight coaches as a quick little test run when it got here before we put Amtrak coaches behind it. So I might include that at the end of the video. Just for reasons. Maybe. We'll see. Then behind the cab, you have the see-through grates. Back on the rear one. Now I have seen some of them where they have the lights kept off.
But at night, they are on.
At night they are, yeah. At night they're on. And on this one, they're always on no matter what, and they're pretty bright. But behind the screens is just a picture of what's behind the screen. So, I mean, rather than being able to see through it, it's a picture of what's behind the screen. That's always kind of cool. So I guess on the back of the locomotive here, so the back side, there's not a lot going on, like up on the front. But the back side, we have, you know, the Bachmann Easy Mate plastic coupler, which will be replaced with Acadia number 5 immediately upon purchase. You obviously have LED headlights and red marker lights for the end of the locomotive, and those are on. The red marker lights are on when the engine's going forward, at least on the rear, and when you turn the engine to go in reverse, the red marker lights on the front are on, or when it's parked, they're on. I don't know what else is on the back side of this locomotive. Obviously, the door. I mean, this locomotive seems to be pretty accurate for.
It is. I would say Bachmann did their homework on it, especially when they went to TTCI in Pueblo, Colorado, and when they went to check them out and got all the sounds from the actual locomotive, which I believe, while I was doing the research on one of the videos they had on YouTube was 4605. I believe that's the sound that it's coming from, with the horn and the bell and the lights and all of that. But overall, they did their homework on this.
Yeah, and having a wow sound decoder in there is pretty good, considering you can press function 8 a few times, and it allows you to go into different modes for, like, let's say if you have a Bachmann Easy Command, or if you have a Digitrax throttle, or if you want to go NMRA standard, you have a standard function 1 or function 0 through 28 functions, which would be NMRA standards, or you can go through. If you have a Bachmann Easy Command with only 9 functions, you can go through different pages on those functions list by pressing F8 twice rapidly F8 twice in rapid succession. It goes through different pages, so you can use function 1 as not a bell, but you can use it as like platform station announcements, or going on down the line announcements, or crew talk, or really whatever you really want. So it's really kind of nice that the wow sound decoder will actually walk you through everything you need to know about this locomotive. It also has windshield wipers. No, I don't know why it needs a windshield wiper sound, but it's just wow sound being, you know. And I think that sound literally goes like the windshield wiper goes whoosh or something stupid like that. But you know, who cares? The main probably the main functions you're going to use are function 1 would be the bell, 2 would be the long horn, 3 would be the short horn, and function 0 would be the lights. It's probably the only functions you're going to use on this engine. I mean, unless you're really into it for all the announcements and all that, and you know, you can be you, but that's not me. So anyway, let me go ahead and turn the engine around, and we can go ahead and start it up and listen to the bell and the horn as well as the startup. So it's going to start up. So that was the startup procedure for the Siemens SC-44. This is a short horn, which does not have ditch lights flash. This is the long horn, which will have the ditch lights flash. Wait for the ditch lights to stop flashing. Okay, and now per prototype with the bell, the ditch lights will flash with the bell. And if you're able to see, it says Chicago on the nose there. Now the other cool thing about this engine, at least with the decoder, it's got a keep life in it, so it lasts for about 10 seconds off the track without power. We'll go ahead and check that out. Maybe 5 to 10 seconds. At least for the sound. The lights will take a little bit longer. And then you set it back down on the track, and there it goes again. Now then, let's check out those red lights on the side for this engine. So that would be, so it would turn the strobes off as well as the headlight and the placard and the ditch lights off on the on the front of the locomotive when the locomotive is either stationary or
in push mode.
Or in push mode. And obviously on the back side you have the headlight on. If it's in push mode, but or if it's
backing up.
Mm-hmm. Let me show you guys the marker lights in the rear here. So they're on too. And then there's the side here. Now the strobe lights are bright, so it's kind of nice to have some other bright lights. I'm glad Wildsound decided Bachmann decided to have them there, and I'm glad Wildsound decided to tell them, hey, you make sure you use LEDs, because I couldn't imagine those being bulbs.
Mm-mm.
Let's see what other functions are there on here. So the 7, function 7 is the whoosh of the train going by.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be a kind of a silly feature, because first of all, you're never gonna get this engine up to 110 miles an hour.
125.
125.
It's supposed to be max speed on that engine.
Yeah, but the max speed on the at least in Illinois is 110.
Yeah.
And you're never gonna. This engine, I mean, well, on anyone's layout, scale speed, you're never gonna get to 110.
No.
It's never gonna get there. It'll get to about 90, maybe 100, but that's it. So maybe 80. I don't know, but. You know, even at full tilt, this thing it didn't look very fast even on this layout. So I guess that's pretty small. So F9. F9 does that, whatever that is. I'm not sure. I didn't look at the. Anyway. I wonder if that was HEP mode.
That might be.
really does sound like a diesel truck when it's just idling.
It does. That's why I was seeing on YouTube channels. I can tell that it sounds like a diesel truck.
Yeah, I mean, so I think this just has a inline six, or at least a big inline six, but the exhaust does sound like a truck, and it's kind of it's a different sound versus some of the other diesels like an Ace or a Gevo or even the old P42s. It's a different sound completely. It's always kind of neat
And when
to
you're
watch.
up close to the engine in real life, they're really quiet. And when they stop at the station, it shuts off the motor for fuel, what's that called?
Fuel save
Yeah, fuel
consumption.
Yeah, something like that. They have that function now on the real things.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, on the model, I'm not entirely sure what function it is to turn that off, but I think you have to shut the entire unit down, which you can do, but why? So, anyway, unless you have anything else you want to add about this locomotive, I think the next is the run-bys.
Yeah, we're going to do a run-by on this video.
Yep. So,
The cars I have right now, we're going to use in the video, aren't prototypical, but it gives you guys a perspective of what they use now.
Right, so I have heard a few rumors for the coaches, at least for this particular engine, and they are going to be in the new cars for the Missouri River Runner. They're going to be on the same paint scheme as the Amtrak engine, the Siemens engine. So they're going to be made by the same company, Siemens.
Yeah, they are.
And they're going to have the same paint scheme on the cars. So eventually, I'm sure they will be done in HO.
Yeah, eventually.
Well, my guess would be either Bachmann or Athern or Cato or Rapido, I would assume would do the coaches for this engine in particular. I would hope Rapido, because they've got some really good products.
They got some really good, especially their Horizon coaches I like. But
and that's what they're running now, I think, right? Horizon coaches.
yeah, right now Amtrak's using Horizon coaches, like from St. Louis to Kansas City and Chicago to St. Louis. They're using it, and then but I think 390 right now, since it's in the wintertime, they've been using the Superliner coaches too.
Yeah, because it's better weight and can trip the. Has something to do with weight and axles.
Yeah, that's an axle count thing.
Because we don't have enough money to fix that.
Yeah.
Oops. Anyway, let me get the coaches on it, and then we can see the run by. All right, now that we got the 4 Amtrak coaches hooked on, as you can see, we got an Am fleet behind the locomotive. It's a cafe car. That wasn't me. That was an automatic sound. Let's go ahead and get this locomotive away from the station. So I just wanted to show you guys what the what this little red light on the top does. So that's what happens when, at least on my system, on my MRC Prodigy Elite, there's a little red light right here, and that's to put it into emergency. And so that's what the air was. The air dropped, and which is cool. Because not a lot of other sound companies, like sound decoders, do that. When you press the stop button, they don't drop the air like that. So that's kind of a neat feature. I want to show you guys what this locomotive looks like at night here. So, overall, I'm going to say this engine is, it's a pretty good engine. I mean, the fact that Bachmann sold out of them on the second run is wild. I would put this up there at one of the best locomotives to this date. Obviously, there's probably going to be better ones at some point in time. But this one's pretty close, especially for how fast, I mean, for being a 3-year-old engine, technically.
Yeah, it's about 3 years old.
Yeah, so, I mean, really, Bachmann has done a really good job on the Siemens SC-44s. And Bachmann recently has been actually stepping up their game to match some of these other companies, like let's say MTH, even though they're closing in 2021. Athearn. I mean, there's not a lot of companies out there that can touch what Scale Trains does, but
yeah, that's really true on that.
But I mean, this is pretty close for. I mean, this is on the same. This is way above what you expect with Bachmann. So. I've had plenty of Bachmann models, like the DDA40X, which was not the greatest model, but, you know, it did the job, and it wasn't very detailed or anything, but it was okay. But this is on a whole other level for Bachmann. Bachmann, like I said, if you guys, you know, I know their Gevos weren't the best, or their Aces weren't the best, but from what they were to that point, you can see they were trying. And with this, they knocked it out of the park with this one. So
I would say I give a lot of credit to Bachmann what they did. They stepped up the game on this locomotive. I really like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a whole new ballpark now with Bachmann making. If Bachmann keeps making engines to this level, we could be looking at a competitor for Scale Trains.
I can see that too.
I mean, this, at least to me, this is matching what a Scale Trains -9 in terms of detail looks like. I mean, that would be a good comparison. This is a whole other level of this is actually, I think I know what this is. This is Bachmann China is what this is. I'm not kidding. So Bachmann China made the QJ, which is their 210-2, and that's that IAIS QJ 210-2. And Bachmann China, it's a different brand of Bachmann, made that, and that thing's pretty much like brass quality. And the Bachmann China has been making brass-like quality engines for a while, but Bachmann USA has been making garbage. Yeah. In comparison. So this has the looks of what Bachmann China can do. So if we keep getting more models like this, I'm expecting to get some Bachmann engines on this layout and hopefully run it with some of this other stuff that's high quality.
Hopefully you can purchase a Charger locomotive.
Well, maybe if I get some Amtrak cars. Hopefully. Other announcement. Bachmann has, I guess, officially low-key word is that they're going to be producing another run of these. They are producing another one of these, but I don't know. But there is no ETA yet for when they're going to be out, or when they're going to be due, or when pre-orders are going to start being accepted, or when you can pre-order this locomotive. I will keep you guys up to date in the description below as to when Bachmann announces a date for your pre-order for the SC-44s. So keep your eyes out for the SC-44s because these models are going fast. And if you can find one for under $300, buy it.
Yep.
This is probably an 8 out of 10 for me in terms of the model.
Me, I would say it's 10 out of 10.
I only say 8 out of 10 because I like the P-42 better. So
I do
guess I'm
too,
impartial.
but I do like both of those engines. So
Yeah. So well done, Bachmann, and well done, Lausan. Is Lausan great? Not as great as Bachmann. Lausan is great. Anyway, this is Sensation signing off for now. See you guys later.